Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Um, Today is episode 19. It's a bit cloudy today because it's gonna rain soon. Um, so today's lesson or topic I wanted to share about um, is basically about lessons and how life can repeat lessons until you react differently. My analogy here will be thunderstorms. Natural stuff. The same thunderstorm will return until you learn to walk through the rain. What I mean by this is whatever problem or situation that you feel like you may be going through, especially if it's like a thing that you've been caught up in before. I think life is trying to teach you how to react differently. It can come to relationships, uh, I guess constant problems that show up um, randomly, but you know that this problem has occurred before. Um, and Basically, the analogy is that walking through the rain is being able to react differently. It's being able to push through that hardship of not knowing what's on the other side, but knowing that, hey, I can't be in this constant loop of hurt, this cycle of I've been here before, but yeah, I'm going through it again. And I'm not gonna change my fate. At the end of the day, your fate is in your hands. You decide what you get to, endure, embrace. You willingly get to. I mean, obviously, some things come with a cost, a family member might die one day. You don't get to choose that, but the things that you get to actively choose, the things that you know that you can change, yet you are, stagnant in your decision to whether or not if to change your perspective on it is, life will repeat the same lesson until you react differently. Um, and I believe that's something that is a core belief of me that I believe that life is usually on your side. It's meant to strengthen you, not hurt you and bring you down permanently. It's gonna break you down. There's gonna be times where you want to give up and not, I guess, live anymore. God forbid that. I don't want anyone watching this video to feel like that. But at the end of the day, if there's a lesson that's being, repetitively taught or repetitively consistent within your life, you have to react differently in order to change your outcome of that said thing. Um, some storms won't leave. I'm going to straight put that out there. Some things in your life won't leave. Some problems will come back. Um, One of them being grief. You're going to experience grief many, many times in your life before. You just have to learn to, I guess, adapt to it and adjust in a way where it's not harmful to your mentality and your spirituality. Um, and I believe that when experiencing grief, obviously, it's not fun. Um, and it's something that all humans experience, something that you can't really avoid. And that's my example of a storm being a hard time. And you just have to learn to adjust to the environment that is, braced upon you. You have to learn to keep striding forward, even though you know that eventually you will experience this again. And I think being, in that mindset of, in that, I guess, pessimistic view that it's going to happen again is going to keep you in this, I guess, state of disbelief and shock because you won't be able to move forward and enjoy life for its moments and graceful opportunities that it gives you. Um, just kind of realize, especially if you feel like you struggle with it. I struggle with myself because I'm human too. I've experienced things that I don't want to go through again, and I know that I probably will go through it again. But my mindset towards it right now is that I'm here right now, enjoying my moment right now. I'm in this state of healing. I'm in this state of happiness, enjoyment, fulfillment of my own life. And knowing that I'm probably going to have to experience grief again, I don't want to purposely put myself in that mindset where I know that I'm going to experience it again. And being in that mindset is going to put you in a state of protection. Your psyche is going to be on a constant, I guess, threat mode. Many, many things could show up and you're like, oh no, that's bad. I don't want to go through that again. And you'll shut down and life will seem more negative on your perspective of your lens. Geez, I'm really talking fast. Sorry. Fate, once again, fate could be decided in your hands. The way that you embrace things, the way that you push through things is decided by you. Ultimately, you. You are the writer of your story, you're the author of your character. You get to decide what you get to embrace. And if you know that you have the choice to embrace something in a different way where you know it's not going to be so pessimistic, but more on the optimistic view, you know that you can change that, do that for yourself, because once again, that's a good act of self-love in itself, is treating yourself like someone that you deeply care for. You wouldn't treat someone that you deeply care for and purposely do try to teach them a negative outlook on things, or try to get them to weigh things more negatively because life is full of negative behaviors. I think people that have a strong view on life, especially more positive, can can accept that negative things happen. It's hard to accept stuff that, especially when it comes from harm, and you know that, hey, this hurts me. Why should I put up with it? I feel like being able to put up with it is a strength and an act of growth in itself, because you know that you'll eventually get over it. I'm not gonna, put it rudely or bluntly, well, bluntly saying many of the things that you struggle with, you will eventually get over it. They will pass, but once again, they can come and go. It's like a storm. It's weather. It changes. Things constantly change. Everything is in a constant flux of movement where everything involves in its own pace. That's what makes the world beautiful, to me at least. Indirectly learned patterns can be unlearned. Nothing is impossible to unlearn. Just give yourself compassion, love, and support. This is more in the psychological view of things when it comes to cycles of repetitive lessons being thrown at you in life. Things that you feel like are hard, like hardcore stuck in a in this, like, your system or your brain, can be unlearned. It just takes time. Especially if it's something that wired your brain in the first place to protect you from a form of hurt. Like, for example, I struggle with overthinking. That's a form of coping for me, at least when it comes to relationships. I'm scared to be vulnerable, and I'm scared to be hurt. And there's a paradox in that. Um, Being scared to that inevitably is going to make it happen. Um, Especially if you feel like you can't be open to the person that you are, you're not being authentic to them. And that in itself is going to inevitably cause them to, I guess, change their way of thinking in a way of, will this work out between me and you, blah, 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 that. That's something that I'm trying to unlearn, is that maybe overthinking won't go away. Maybe I just have to look at a different perspective where I can deal with it, where I can tolerate it. Everything in life is tolerable if you look through it in the right lens of, I guess, just the right lens, whatever you seems more tolerable for yourself. Anything can be unlearned. Nothing is impossible to not unlearn, because that's just how things work. I don't think, obviously, being in that state of where whatever you're dealing with feels hard to be unlearned from, you're gonna say it feels, hard to unlearn or get out of my life or deal with, because being in that state is, you're in that, like, I guess that being you can't really see the more positive views, because if you're constantly, dwelling in a negative pool of emotions, you're gonna outweigh those negative things more. Um, Anyways, more on the topic of, you know, going into the rain or walking into the rain, well, of the storm that you may be in, avoiding it avoiding discomfort keeps you in the same state of self, and that's something I think I'm really scared to be. I'm not saying I'm scared to be myself, but I'm scared to be in the same state that I am in right now. I don't want to be the same person for many, many, many years, because I think I want to see new versions of myself. I want to see who I become in the next month, 2 year, or whatever. Because I think constantly being in a state of discomfort, or I mean, being in a state of comfort is not going to allow one to grow, because you're not allowing to, I guess, expand your limits and reaches to things that you feel like are you deem things not worthy or not worth it to go through. I think being able to walk through the rain, being able to conquer the things that you feel like you're dealing with, especially if it's a repetitive lesson that you keep going through, is a worthy, I guess, a worthy journey to go through because, for example, my example of why I made this video is relationships. The thunderstorm being breakups. I've gone through many, many relationships being, I'm not saying the relationships were bad, but I've gone through many, many relationships thinking it was going to change. This person was going to be new. This person was going to be different. No, it wasn't. They were different. Just the outcome wasn't different. Mainly because I have to start with myself. I have to be able to walk through my reign, the things that I'm struggling with, the things that I'm dealing with. Because if I can't start with myself, how do I expect to start with others? How do I expect to deal with others and uphold their, flaws and mistakes? Because in a relationship, you have to be able to embrace and accept the person that they are and that they will be, because everything, once again, is in a constant state of changing and flux of, evolution. Not literally evolution, but like everything changes. Everything is not the same thing it was before. And you know, that's my example of why I made the videos, because the lesson here is being, I don't think I'm ready for a relationship. I don't think I need to be in one right now. And I think I need to start with myself. Mend myself first, be able to fix myself, be comfortable with myself, be okay with the person who I am, be okay with the person that I can be, and be okay with the person that I am when I'm alone with my thoughts. Because for me, the hardest thing about myself is me and myself. I can be my worst enemy. I am my worst enemy. I'm the one holding myself back. I'm the one not allowing my things to do the things that I know that, hey, maybe this could lead to a better life of prosperity and growth. But I still, I guess, indirectly decide to keep holding myself back, even though that's something subconsciously that just happens. And I think that's something I'm trying to learn myself and teach you guys on the other side of the screen. Um, Realizing I've gone through this before is a quiet reminder of reacting differently and changing your path. That's what the entire video is about. Realizing I've been here before. I've been in this moment. I've felt this before. I've been through this before. Why am I going through it again? Why would I purposely put myself in another state of this sadness, this grief, this bad negative, I guess, state? Why would I purposely put myself in that situation that I know that I've been in there before? That's I know it's at first it doesn't sound that, like, I guess, impactful, but to me, realizing I've been caught up in these flames before, realizing I've gone through relationships and realized that I still yet chase and try to, hey, maybe this person will different. It's the definition of insanity. It's trying the same thing over and over, expecting different results. I think realizing that that is the problem can really boost your mental health and just your perspective of things now, not seeing relationships as the main problem, but yourself as something that you need to mend first. Be able to construct a concrete foundation within yourself so that you have yourself, that you can be okay with being independent. That's something I'm telling myself is, whatever you guys may be struggling with, overthinking, social anxiety, whatever lesson that life keeps throwing at you, but you keep failing because you react the same way. Maybe try to reflect and react differently. Once again, everyone's story is different. I don't know what you guys are going through, and I hope you guys are doing well. Um, but just realizing that I've gone through this before is a key reminder of, it kind of snaps out of this, I guess. Best word is stimulation. Like when you're in stimulation, you don't realize you're in it until you realize you're in it. That doesn't make sense at first, but that's the best way I can really describe it. Realizing that you've been there before is the key. It's the ignition to change. It's realizing I need to change. I need to change something. What is it and how can I fix it? That's also a good step of self-love and self-direction that you can build and mend within yourself. You can mend your own internal navigation compass that, yeah, hey, I can fix stuff by myself. Obviously, there's a lot of things in life that you are going to need help with. There's a lot of things that are too heavy for yourself to carry. You need help with a lot of things. And that's where connections come from. And that's why, well, anyways, it's a different topic. I'm getting off track. But it's it's like, once again, it's like being caught up in flames before. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable to realize something you've been, it feels it feels pitiful. You feel, I guess, wow, I've been through this before. Yeah, I keep deciding to react the same way. Um Experiences reflect your inner state until you change it. Change the outcome of your situation. Once again, a simple line that kind of can be impactful with nothing changes until nothing changes. You have to start with yourself first. Change yourself that you can change the outcomes in your environment around you. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You literally are the tool to change your life. You are, and that's something that I'm realizing right now that I'm really, I guess, what am I trying to say? Really, I guess there's a word for it. I'm looking for. Anyways, I'm like really like proud of it. That's the best word. There's another word I'm looking for. I don't know what it is. Passionate. I'm really passionate about this topic and realizing that I'm the tool that I can fix the things that I want to fix. I can do it. Some things might be harder than others, but everything starts within yourself. And that's a key thing that I want to take from the videos. Realizing you are in control of your life, realizing you have to realize that you are in that state of cycling of hurt and pain. This can be connected to addiction and whatever that may be painful. Growth is being able to walk through the rain because you're not actively avoiding it. Going through the rain is it's a leap of faith. That's the best analogy that I come up with. Not literally walking through rain. Don't like go walk through rain and expect your problems to be solved. No, walking through rain is walking through your mind and yourself and fixing and realizing, hey, I can go through this. Obviously let yourself allow to feel these emotions that you're feeling because that's an important step. You can't bottle up your emotions because you become an emotional sandbag, and then once it gets too heavy, it breaks. You break. And being able to walk through is growth in itself because sometimes in order to look strong, you have to be weak. And obviously with society nowadays, like society sees weakness, especially with emotional maturity, like sadness, depression. We can't show our emotions. That's weakness. But I think that where truth, strength comes from. There's a paradox in everything. Weakness is strength. It's stupid, but I believe it. People stay in these circles of hurt because it's all they know. It offers some type of clarity. This is more on the psychological view of things. Um, Psychologically, people stay in that cycle of hurt, even though those lessons that keep coming and coming and they keep repeating. People stay in those lessons because it's all they know. It's all they know, and they don't really realize it. I think maturity is realizing that you know that you once didn't realize, but you are realizing it. Like I think I guess the best word to describe is that you can understand your own flaws, your own weaknesses, your own weak points that you know that you can improve. That's maturity to me. And embracing that, accepting it is a form of strength to me. And once again, if you are in that circle of like repetitive cycle, you have first to get out of is to realize that you're in it. And it's stupid. It's kind of cliche, but I think it's the first step is realizing and then putting in action. And it offers clarity. Obviously, with humans, we love clarity. We love where we're comfortable. Uncomfortable stuff, activities, things, states, it hurts. It doesn't feel good, but that's what leads to growth. It's like growing pains. That's another analogy I'll use here. Growing pains. Growing as a person, human being, like physically growing pains. It hurts, but you're growing. You're becoming more mature as a person, more physically. Anyways, um, if you are constantly failing or encountering something, change your perception and intention on it. Once again, if life is throwing something at you and you don't react differently, it's going to keep throwing it at you. It's going to keep throwing it at you until you realize that life is trying to tell me something so that I can become a better person. In order to become a better person is to realize that you're not a good person right now. I know, obviously, I'm not going to say you guys on the other side are not good people. You probably are wonderful people. I'm just kind of more talking on my experiences and stuff because I want to share my experiences with you guys and my wisdom that I can share. Um, because this channel helps me a lot with, it helps me a lot. And whoever may be watching this video, I hope that whatever you may be writing down, whatever you think is important to take from this video, maybe write it down. That's what I've done. What also helps me is watching other YouTubers, other podcasters, other people that have the same kind of, I guess, videos like me. Um, the tag that they usually use, or what YouTube uses, it's called thoughts or self-confidence or video essays. Those are what the really good ones. Um, Things repeat to strengthen you. It's like working out. You repetitively work out to strengthen yourself. And then the challenge may, rise a bit, higher, higher, and higher to become a stronger person. Because if you stay at the same weight at the same time, you're never going to get stronger. That's why I think life may throw lessons at you, the same ones, but at a different level of difficulty to strengthen you, but also, once again, change your perception on things. Changing your perception on things is the key to living a different life. I mean, it's a simple tool, but it's so powerful. Like a simple change perception like that can make a good life to a negative life, and it's so weird how that works, how perception works, and it's so fascinating to me. Um, Something I'm really interested in is psychology and philosophy, and those two things that I'm been reading a lot lately over the summer. Things change when you change. That's just kind of the highlight of the video here is things change when you change. Things change um when your intention changes, when you change as a person. Um and change can be scary. Obviously, embracing change can be a bit of a difficult task to complete. Or the endeavor of I don't, you know, the endeavor of keep changing and evolving can be scary. And I believe that if you're scared to embrace change, you're being too comfortable in your current state. I'm not saying that's bad, but for me at least, I don't want to be the same person every day or my entire life. I don't want to look back and be like, I like the person I was. Um, I think that my engineering teacher once told me, I probably said this in a previous video, but if you can't look back at yourself from whatever old state you were and find it cringy or why did I do this? That's improvement. You've improved as a person. Maybe that could also show that you may lack a little self-love in yourself and accept your old self and your new self. But I completely agree with that. If you can't find yourself corny to a tiny bit, realizing, hey, I did something dumb, that's not, you haven't improved. You haven't changed as a person. And I'm not saying that's bad, but for me at least, once again, I don't want to be the same person my entire life. Anyways, sorry for all this sniffling and stuff. My allergies are a little funky right now, and it's about to rain. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of my podcast. Thanks for listening. If you made it to the end, thank you for your time. Just the key things I want you to take from this video is things change when you change. The analogy of walking through rain, and life will keep throwing the same lessons until you change your perception or reaction to it. Uh, Once again, thank you for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day and wonderful night, wonderful evening, whatever time you've been watching this. And yeah, I will see you guys soon once all the rain goes away. Anyways, bye, and I love you guys. Bye.